What's up, cool people? Welcome to today's live stream. My name's Matt, aka That Random Christian Gamer. So today we've got our usual combo stream recording session thing. We got a mix of Bible study to kick things off, and then Kingdom Hearts stuff later. For the Bible study, we'll be looking at 1 Chronicles chapters 9 and 10. We're past, pretty much past the lengthy genealogy, but there might still be a little bit more talk of ancestry and things like that in these chapters. Yeah, and then we got ourselves a doozy of a situation in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, but maybe I'll just let you wait until we get to that to see what's happening there. But, yeah. Not too much else to say. I gotta try and make sure that I keep today's stream, somewhat tight on the timing. Just because I have other things going on later in the day. Poetically Christian, good morning. Or at least, yeah. For anywhere in the U.S., good morning anyway. I hope you're doing well. I'm generally pretty good, chugging along at work while I've, got other things that I'm kind of working on, like looking at apartments and stuff like that to hopefully make my overall situation even a little bit better. But yeah, not too much else to say. I will probably be toggling off the multi-chat window in the Bible study stuff, like that scene that I have for my stream, because it's not showing Twitch stuff today. It was working fine just yesterday. I don't know why it's lacking today. I can see Twitch chat and interact and all that kind of stuff, but the built-in multi-chat feature that I have in OBS to manage stuff for my stream, it's just not showing anything from Twitch. I can't speak for YouTube yet because that doesn't automatically populate anything. But anyway, okay, enough about all that. I'm gonna go ahead and run the early Twitch ads and then we'll hop into the Bible study after a few seconds. There we go. Okay. So before I go ahead and do all that stuff, I'm gonna need to prep a couple of things, namely moving some of the Twitch related windows, or some of the Twitch related live stream stuff over to my other monitor. Now, it's like, I'm gonna turn off the chat in this scene anyway, just because, like, the point of it is to try and, have all of, or have any potential live stream, chat, discussion, engagements, and all that be right there in amongst, the editing process, so that I don't have to edit that in myself. But if any of it's going to be lacking, then there's a chance that I'd be engaging with something that doesn't show up there, and I would have to edit that in anyway, and then it would make it even more complicated to try and edit over top of what is showing, and it's just, yeah. So, for that reason, I will not be including it in this particular scene in the stream. But I usually crop it out of the gaming stuff, so it'll be there anyway. Okay. I'm thinking ad break's about done. I don't have a way of knowing right now with the current setup. So I'm just gonna hope that it is. Okay. So I guess it's time to hop in to the Bible study. Alright. So we are looking at 1 Chronicles chapter 9. Thus far, 1 Chronicles has been just an extensive genealogy of the people of Israel and where they came from, who they came from, and in a sense what got them to this point. Although we might be getting a little more into that aspect of things in the upcoming chapters. This was, written after the events of prior books of the Bible where the people of Israel got exiled to other nations. I mean, the kingdom of Israel split from Judah, got taken over by the Assyrians and captured and exiled. The kingdom of Judah then later got taken over by Babylon and exiled to their territories. So, we'll see a little bit more about that situation and some of the stuff that happened afterwards based on, section headings and stuff here. So let's hop in. 1 Chronicles, chapter 9. Now, I almost want to say that this first verse maybe would have belonged in the previous chapter a little better, but no big deal. Anyway, okay. So all Israel was listed in the genealogical records in the book of the kings of Israel. The people of Judah were exiled to Babylon because they were unfaithful to the Lord. The first of the exiles to return to their property in their former towns were priests, Levites, temple servants, and other Israelites. Some of the people from the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, Ephraim, and Manasseh came and settled in Jerusalem. One family that returned was that of Uthai, son of Ammihud, son of Omri, son of Imri, son of Bani, a descendant of Perez, son of Judah. Others returned from the Shilonite clan, including Asaiah, the oldest, and his sons. From the Zerahite clan, Juel returned with his relatives. Let me just finish off this section. In all, 690 families from the tribe of Judah returned. From the tribe of Benjamin came Salu, son of Meshullam, son of Hodaviah, son of Hasenua, Ibneiah, son of Jeroham, Elah, son of Uzai, son of Mikri, and Meshullam, son of Shephatiah, son of Ruel, son of Ibnijah. These men were all leaders of clans, and they were listed in their genealogical records. In all, 956 families from the tribe of Benjamin returned. Okay, so that's what? We got ourselves a little over 1,600 families returning out of these two tribes. Also, I realized that this right here and this right here are both part of verse 1, so I guess having that in this chapter makes a little more sense in light of that information. Now, I'm trying to remember if it was Babylon with the people from Judah or Assyria with the people from the rest of Israel that it mentioned there was some trouble with the other people that they kind of planted in that area, like getting attacked by lions and having other, well, mostly the lions, but basically falling upon just otherwise random trouble that they seemed to tie with the people they planted there, not following the local deity, in this case, the God of Israel. And they had the idea to maybe bring in some priests and people like that to teach the newcomers about God. So I don't know if these people that it says are returning to Jerusalem are coming back for that purpose. It's possible, but in any case, we got some of the people that were exiled now returning and settling in Jerusalem. And it gets into some of their ancestry and at least numbering the families. So perhaps a lot of the genealogy before and all that kind of stuff, part of that might have been there to help, or that part of the reason that was there might have been to also help connect these people that are returning to Jerusalem with those, who they came from, to say that they, at least, according to the history of God's people, they had a right to be there. No notes to look at. Okay, suppose I'll move on. Verse 10. Among the priests who returned were Jedaiah, Jehoiarib, Jachin, Azariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Zadok, son of Merioth, son of Ahitub. Azariah was the chief officer of the house of God. Other returning priests were Adiah, son of Jeroham, son of Pashur, son of Malchijah, and Maasai, son of Adiel, son of Jazerah, son of Meshullam, son of Meshillemith, son of Immer. In all, 1,760 priests returned. They were heads of clans and very able men. They were responsible for ministering at the house of God. I almost wanted to say of the Lord, just by default there. Okay. So, does that then assume these people mentioned up in this section were not priests? Well, I suppose not, because, if they were descended from the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, they couldn't have been priests. The priests were all from the tribe of Levi. Specifically descended from Aaron, actually, if they were priests. Other Levites are the people we're about to read a little more on. Yeah, I don't really have any other comments there. Alright, verse 14. The Levites who returned were Shemaiah, son of Hashub, son of Azrikam, son of Hashabiah, a descendant of Merari, Bakbakar, Haresh, Galal, Mattaniah, son of Micah, son of Zikri, son of Asaph, Obadiah, son of Shemaiah, son of Galal, son of Jeduthun, and Berechiah, son of Asa, son of Elkanah, who lived in the area of Netophah. The gatekeepers who returned were Shalom, Akub, Talmon, Ahiman, and their relatives. Shalom was the chief gatekeeper. Prior to this time, they were responsible for the king's gate on the east side. These men served as gatekeepers for the camps of the Levites. Shalom was the son of Kor, a descendant of Abiasaph, from the clan of Korah. He and his relatives, the Korahites, were responsible for guarding the entrance to the sanctuary, just as their ancestors had guarded the tabernacle in the camp of the Lord. Phinehas, son of Eleazar, had been in charge of the gatekeepers in earlier times, and the Lord had been with him. And later, Zechariah, son of Meshelemiah, was responsible for guarding the entrance to the tabernacle. Okay, I'll pause there for a sec, because there's still quite a bit left in this section. Now it's said in here about the gatekeepers that prior to this time, they were responsible for the king's gate. So, like, the way I read that, or what I, like, am kind of myself implying from it, is almost more like, okay, they were responsible for just guarding this one gate before, but now that they're returning from exile and there's, you know, not as many of them to go around, or maybe even not as much to protect them from, or as many people involved, I don't know. In any case, I'm kind of almost implying from that it's like they just guarded this one gate before, but now they're gonna guard all of it. It being, I guess, the temple, or just the gatekeepers overall of Jerusalem, maybe. Yeah, probably just of Jerusalem. So I wonder also, just broader scope here, if it's specifically going through, because now we've gone through priests, Levites, maybe it'll go through other temple servants soon, and we kind of got mention possibly of other Israelites up here. So this section actually has a couple of notes to look at. Hebrew has Ebiasaph. Okay. That's just a variant spelling. It's only one letter off. Compared with Exodus 6:24. Yeah, because Shalom is a descendant of that person mentioned in Exodus there. Doesn't really say exactly how far down the line, but, you know, given the prior genealogies, if you connect names there, then you can trace the ancestry back. Note there at the tabernacle, Hebrew says the tent of meeting, which was really kind of just another name to refer to this same thing that's often called the tabernacle. I do seem to recall there was a different tent called the tent of meeting before the tabernacle was really even made. So maybe that's why it would be simpler as a translator to go with calling it the tabernacle. Because there weren't probably so many people involved in guarding the entrance to whatever other whatever other tent of meeting there was before that. Okay, quick side note for chat. Yeah, I can see chat stuff fine from both Twitch and YouTube, the way I have it arranged. I just, I'm not gonna display it in the main stream screen because of that issue that I mentioned, is all I was trying to say. Okay, so we've gone through the priests and the Levites. Well, maybe not entirely. A little more to read about the Levites here as we pick it up in verse 22. In all, there were 212 gatekeepers in those days, and they were listed according to the genealogies in their villages. David and Samuel the seer had appointed their ancestors because they were reliable men. These gatekeepers and their descendants, by their divisions, were responsible for guarding the entrance to the house of the Lord when that house was a tent. The gatekeepers were stationed on all four sides, east, west, north, and south. Their relatives in the villages came regularly to share their duties for 7-day periods. The 4 chief gatekeepers, all Levites, were trusted officials, for they were responsible for the rooms and treasuries at the house of God. They would spend the night around the house of God, since it was their duty to guard it and to open the gates every morning. Okay, also going to pause there for a little bit. So, 212 gatekeepers in those days, referring to, like, in the day of these exiles returning to Jerusalem? Or is this going back to when it's talking about the tabernacle? Because, I mean, the tabernacle was just mentioned, and it's even also mentioning in here about, you know, guarding the entrance to the house of the Lord when that house was a tent, which would have been the tabernacle. So, maybe the slight lack of specificity in the wording is something I am keenly aware of as I'm reading through this now, but also not trying to, like, split hairs over. But I will say this almost harkens back in some ways to, like, some of my college experience. You know, I went to a Christian college, and, like, a bunch of the Bible and theology classes in there were all about, like, so here's this thing, and here are a couple of different ways to look at this thing, or interpret it, or whatever. So, yeah. I am wanting to provide a similar opportunity for others to, like, not just be force-fed one particular understanding of things, and maybe help people get a little bit of a look at multiple possible angles to approach a particular passage, or chapter in this case, to the best of my ability. But anyway, okay, that was a bit of a tangent. Done with that. So, I guess it's going into quite a bit of detail about the gatekeepers, because they hadn't really been mentioned too much before. Like, I don't remember reading in prior books and chapters about all the gatekeepers and, you know, who appointed them and how and why and who they were descended from and any of that kind of stuff. So, that's also something that you might find in just genealogies in general throughout the Bible, is that sometimes when it's going through all the history and the lineage, it'll also fill in some details that hadn't really been mentioned before. But now it's, you know, as the knowledge seems perhaps relevant, or just as it comes up in said, you know, historical record, and it's like, hey, let's fill in this bit of information that we know here. So, anyway, okay. Moving on to verse 28. Some of the gatekeepers were assigned to care for the various articles used in worship. They checked them in and out to avoid any loss. Others were responsible for the furnishings, the items in the sanctuary, and the supplies such as choice flour, wine, olive oil, frankincense, and spices. But it was the priests who blended the spices. Mattathiah, a Levite and the oldest son of Shallum the Korahite, was entrusted with baking the bread used in the offerings. And some members of the clan of Kohath were in charge of preparing the bread to be set on the table each Sabbath day. The musicians, all prominent Levites, lived at the temple. They were exempt from other responsibilities since they were on duty at all hours. All these men lived in Jerusalem. They were the heads of Levite families and were listed as prominent leaders in their genealogical records. Alright. So, I could definitely see in the newer situation how these gatekeepers might have also been assigned some other responsibilities. Although even, back in the time of the tabernacle, it's like, yeah, if anything had a need to go in or out of there, having the people who watched the gate and regularly were already keeping track of what went in and out would make, it would make sense that those people would also be in charge of kind of signing any items from the tabernacle in and out to keep a record of all that. From the chat says, Numbers chapter 1 and verse 53 told us that the Levites were responsible for pitching around the tabernacle, so they were in charge of its defense. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I just feel like this is getting into a bit more detail on, like, some of the gatekeepers, who they were, who they came from, and, like, maybe even a little bit more about their responsibilities and what they did. But yeah, so I guess for more information on, the protection and or gatekeeping of the tabernacle, you can refer back to Numbers chapter 1. Alright, so now we've covered the musicians, the gatekeepers, and I guess other Levites who would have helped more with handling and or preparing certain things and just like more directly assisting the priests, because that was, in some way, that was what all the Levites were assigned to do, was to assist the priests, whether it be with gatekeeping or playing music or whatever. Also, the fact that the musicians, it says that they were on duty at all hours, like, that leaves me a little bit curious how their days typically went. Was it just like, I would imagine the most practical thing to do would be to, go in shifts and just like have whoever's on the shift constantly be playing music or something like that. But I can't say I know too much of that for sure. And now well, some of the gatekeepers were assigned to care for, okay, others, implying other gatekeepers, I guess, were responsible for the furnishings and such. And yeah, I would definitely think any supplies that had to be brought in, like flour and wine and whatnot, having the gatekeepers oversee the bringing in of those supplies would make sense. They're already keeping guard at the gates or whatever other parts of the exterior needed guarding. So again, it would be pretty logical to have them be the ones to, oversee bringing anything in that had to be used for the offerings and whatnot. Okay. I suppose now we'll move on to verse 35, where apparently now it's going to talk about King Saul's family tree. Bit of a branch off, but, still related to some effect, as we're talking important positions still. But anyway, okay. Jael, the father of Gibeon, lived in the town of Gibeon. His wife's name was Maacah, and his oldest son was named Abdon. Jael's other sons were Zur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Gedor, Ahio, Zechariah, and Mikloth. Mikloth was the father of Shimeam. All these families lived near each other in Jerusalem. Ner was the father of Kish. Kish was the father of Saul. Saul was the father of Jonathan, Malchishua, Abinadab, and Eshbaal. Jonathan was the father of Merib-Baal. Merib-Baal was the father of Micah. The sons of Micah were Pithon, Melech, Tariah, and Ahaz. Ahaz was the father of Jada. Jada was the father of Alameth, Asmaveth, and Zimri. Zimri was the father of Moza. Moza was the father of Beniah. Beniah's son was Rephaiah. Rephaiah's son was Eliasah. Eliasah's son was Azel. Azel had 6 sons whose names were Azrikam, Bokaru, Ishmael, Sheariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. These were the sons of Azel. Alright. I, at the moment, might not be connecting the dots here, but it's maybe possible that one of these people listed in this ancestry here were listed earlier as people returning from the exile. Not totally sure offhand. I'd have to do a little more back and forth, but I feel like that's a little bit awkward to actually just show that. Chat comment. Jews for their work days, even up until the time of Christ, had what they called watches. For example, the third watch would be from about 2 a.m. till sunrise. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I meant about going in shifts for the musicians and whatnot. And I don't know if there were necessarily sacrifices being made at the altars, or, well, the main altar. Anyway, if there were sacrifices being made by the priests, essentially 24/7, or whatever. But it had just mentioned the musicians being on duty at all hours, so I had to imagine they were in shifts or watches, as you might want to call them, throughout the day. Okay, so this is mentioning King Saul's family tree. It mentions a little bit about his ancestors before him, but then also seems to mention a whole lot more about, those who were descended from him, which is why I'm wondering if there's a connection to, the people who were returning from exile. But we got some notes to look at up here. That says the founder of, which would obviously explain why he lived in the town of Gibeon. If the dude founded Gibeon, then yeah, duh, that was the town that he lived in, because he founded it. Note down here at Ahaz, that's how the Syriac and Latin Vulgate read, Hebrew Lax and Ahaz. Interesting. And Ahaz was the father of Jada. As in some Hebrew manuscripts in Greek version, Hebrew reads Jerah rather than Jada. But it's only one letter off. Like, not really that different. Sorry. Now, for some reason, the name Azel is maybe kind of sort of ringing a bell, but I'm not sure if that was a name that was mentioned up here. I don't know, if you're seeing any of these names that match up with any of the ones down here in Saul's ancestry, let me know, because as much as I can, I would like to try and, you know, maintain and make sense of the connections that are happening throughout all this. It could just be that people descended from King Saul were others that returned from the exile at the same time as, like, these priests and Levites and whatnot. And there really wasn't too much of any other connection, but, you know, since they were returning at the same time, might as well mention them here too. In any case, I think that's all I got for 1 Chronicles chapter 9. Also, I don't know if anyone watching the stream has noticed me looking at a different angle while reading stuff. I decided to go ahead and try to do the whole, like, swapping of things on my computer screens. That'll have its intent, well, we'll see if it has its intended effect later in the stream when I'm doing the video game stuff. Okay. I suppose we'll hop right into 1 Chronicles 10 then. Okay. We're looking at 1 Chronicles chapter 10. Now, in the last chapter, it had covered a bunch of the exiles who were returning to Jerusalem from wherever the Babylonians had exiled them. And going through some of that ancestry as well. But in amongst that, it mentioned some of King Saul's lineage, both a little bit before him and after him. So I guess now it's gonna take a bit of an aside and talk a little bit more about King Saul. Maybe fill in some other details of what happened after his death that would explain some of the history to the people who would have initially been reading this, which mostly would have been the Babylonian exiles. Whether or not it was the ones returning from exile, that I'm not totally sure of off the top of my head. But anyway, let's have a look-see here at 1 Chronicles chapter 10. Now the Philistines attacked Israel, and the men of Israel fled before them. Many were slaughtered on the slopes of Mount Gilboa. The Philistines closed in on Saul and his sons, and they killed 3 of his sons, Jonathan, Abinadab, and Malchishua. The fighting grew very fierce around Saul, and the Philistine archers caught up with him and wounded him. Saul groaned to his armor-bearer, "Take your sword and kill me before these pagan Philistines come to taunt and torture me." But his armor-bearer was afraid and would not do it. So Saul took his own sword and fell on it. When his armor-bearer realized that Saul was dead, he fell on his own sword and died. So Saul and his 3 sons died there together, bringing his dynasty to an end. That was when David then became king over the combined, still at that point, kingdom of Israel. And I guess, obviously there were still other descendants of Saul who were alive and, doing things in that land. In fact, I think David, could have even had a hand in helping to keep that family line going by helping Jonathan's one son who was disabled, I think. But how exactly that all connects to this whole situation for the Babylonian exiles, I'm not sure exactly, other than, again, it might have been some of Saul's descendants who also returned to Jerusalem about the same time as the initial group of priests and Levites and others. So, the connection could just be as simple as that. And this might then, after some of this sort of backtracking and giving the history of Saul, it might give some more information on kind of what happened to his line after that. Poetically Christian says, First Chronicles was written to those in exile. Second Chronicles was written to those coming out of exile. Okay. Yeah, I mean, most of the Israelites were still in exile, probably at the time of writing this, because it's only talked about, a subgroup of the exiles that were able to return. So really, if you want to, if you want to have a greater impact and communicate with more people, it would make sense to focus on those who were still in exile. Okay. So we read about Saul and his sons dying in battle there. And I believe we left it off at verse 7. When all the Israelites in the Jezreel Valley saw that their army had fled and that Saul and his sons were dead, they abandoned their towns and fled. So the Philistines moved in and occupied their towns. The next day, when the Philistines went out to strip the dead, they found the bodies of Saul and his sons on Mount Gilboa. So they stripped off Saul's armor and cut off his head. Then they proclaimed the good news of Saul's death before their idols and to the people throughout the land of Philistia. They placed his armor in the temple of their gods, and they fastened his head to the temple of Dagon. But when everyone in Jabesh Gilead heard about everything the Philistines had done to Saul, all their mighty warriors brought the bodies of Saul and his sons back to Jabesh. Then they buried their bones beneath the great tree at Jabesh, and they fasted for 7 days. So Saul died because he was unfaithful to the Lord. He failed to obey the Lord's command, and he even consulted a medium instead of asking the Lord for guidance. So the Lord killed him and turned the kingdom over to David, son of Jesse. And that's actually where that chapter ends. Jeez, short chapter compared to other recent ones. But now I will say, you know, if the main point of First Chronicles is to, you know, remind the people of God living in exile where they came from and what got them to this point, like, focusing on, even briefly, the very first king over Israel and how he, quote, failed to obey the Lord's command, like, that definitely talks a bit about what got them to that point of being in exile. That's not necessarily where it all started, so to speak, but that was definitely a significant moment of, like, having the first ruler that they chose not do things entirely God's way. And thus began the history of kings throughout the land disobeying God in some way or another. I mean, now, in the books of First and Second Kings, it doesn't necessarily get into all the details of what all of them did that went against the Lord's commands. Especially for some of the kings of Judah, who it said were faithful. But, like, even the most faithful, arguably, King David, like, even he did some things that went against God's commands. He took another man's wife for himself, and then had the husband killed when he found out that the woman was pregnant. So, marking kind of the start of that sinful history of their kings might be an important note to consider when going back and looking at their own broader history overall, and the sin, essentially, the disobedience to God that got them to that point. Because that was really why they were in exile in the first place, was because they went against the Lord's commands. So, now the history and the explanation of what got them to this point might be shifting away a bit from just just from their ancestors and who and where they came from, and now it might be shifting more so to, okay, now here's what happened that got us to this point. But, anyway, again, short chapter, so I don't really have too many other thoughts. Yeah, guess I'll call that recording done and move on with things. I'm still only doing 2 chapters a week. Maybe once if I get the gaming videos caught up to how far ahead I have the Bible study recordings, then maybe I'll consider adding some more chapters. But also, First Chronicles it does have an odd number of chapters, so at some point, maybe doing 3 in 1 week would be a decent idea. Chapter 11's not exactly short, though, so yeah. Not feeling it right now. Throughout 1st and 2nd Kings, one of the most repeated phrases is, and he followed in the disobedience of his father. Yeah. Especially in the split kingdom of Israel. Literally not a single righteous king there. Period. Now, Judah, it went back and forth a little bit. But, yeah. Between the two, there were definitely more unrighteous kings than there were those who followed the Lord. But anyway, alrighty. So, I suppose that will wrap up the Bible study portion of things. A little bit earlier than normal, just because of that second chapter being so short. But that is okay. As I mentioned earlier, I might have to keep the timing a little bit tight for today's stream, just because of other stuff. I've got a roughly hour-long collaborative recording session coming early this afternoon. Not for my channel, mind you. Anywho, okay. So I guess I'll go ahead and run the next Twitch ad break while I kind of shift things over to Kingdom Hearts. Twitch folks who happen to get the ad break, I'll see you on the flip side. Let me go ahead and edit stream information on Twitch here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. I do think I'm going to keep my chat layout stuff the same as I had it for the Bible study portion of things. Just since the multi-chat isn't showing stuff from Twitch, I'll just keep Twitch over here. I could cover up a little more of the YouTube pages live chat, since that's also showing up in the OBS/Stream Elements multi-chat window thing. Anyway, okay. Enough rambling on about my setup and settings and whatnot. Had I stopped the music a little sooner, that would have been great timing, because it was in between songs. You're welcome, Poetically Christian Gamer. I appreciate you being in the chat and involved in it as well. Because even more than just studying the stuff for myself, I am hoping to encourage some discussion on various things throughout the Bible, even, and maybe even especially stuff that tends to get overlooked. Or that people get confused about. What do I have new for commands? Other than Drain Dive, I've already got Riku all filled up on, like, exclusive commands. Oh, okay. Elixir's new, that's why. Can be used once to fully restore you and your spirit's HP and charge all link gauges. I have a bad habit of not really using the items in these games, especially ones like this, because the fact that you have to use up a command slot for that, it's, I don't know, especially with having, you know, other, like, recovery spells and whatnot in play. I don't know. Damage Siphon. Charges your link gauges as you take damage. Air Combo Plus was new, so was Treasure Magnet, apparently. Oh yeah, anything for the ability links here? No, it seems I did any of that I could in the last session. Okay. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and hit record here. Oh, hold up. Sorry. Politically Christian. Mine's the same way. Only mine won't show the YouTube chat. My channel, Politically Christian. Cool that you're doing a collab with someone else. Yeah. Well, it's so not exactly a secret, but something that maybe not everybody that watches my channel knows. I'm actually also directly involved regularly with a different channel that I sort of like co-host, where I also like more intentionally do collabs with other people. I mean, I have another regular co-host there, but we also occasionally put in some effort to bring in some guests who we collab with, especially on different types of games that might be, you know, a specialty of theirs, or different topics that they might want to talk about. Such as maybe this guy that just popped into the Twitch chat here. Alright. Midwest Dungeon Delvers, welcome. Hope you're having a good day so far. Alright. I'm about to just hop into this game here and resume my own personal playthrough of it. Feel free to keep chatting and whatnot. Just know I might be a little focused on the game at times, and some of my responses will be a bit delayed as a result. Alrighty, here we go. Okay. So, we are here in the world that never was, as Riku, and yeah, I guess we'll just have to see whether or not he ends up figuring out what happened to Sora. Because Sora seems to be in some trouble.
Is that...
Oh, hey.
Sora?
It's Sora!
Sora!
I guess those are like either dreams or memories of his, kind of.
Sora, don't! You've got to wake up! Sora!
Who is this? Who or what?
Are you what's trapping him in that nightmare?
Huh?
'Cause if you are, I'm what nightmares fear.
The anti-black coat nightmare. Okay. Whoa. Whoa, jeez. And I'm taking more damage than I'm dealing with this move. There's Kiraga. There we go. Okay. Should have dodged away from that. Whoa, jeez, what the heck? What was that? Oh, come on. I tried to dodge away from that. Okay. Been a while since I've had a challenging battle. See, okay, at least this, it gives me a direct option to retry. There was other stuff a little earlier that was just all kinds of lame with where it left me. Hey, I dodged it. What is that? And how am I supposed to avoid that? What? Okay. Seems like it might take me a few tries to get the hang of this battle. Okay, well that I can avoid decently enough. Yeah, maybe I should focus on doing some more flow motion stuff. Oh, come on. It lost my lock on. Doggone it. Seems like half the time I could really only get one hit in before it starts doing something else. Holy cow. Did that actually do more than an entire health bar right there of damage? I mean, for something as powerful as Meteor, that would make some sense that it did that much. I just... pleasantly surprised, I guess. Alright, come on, what you doing next? Oh, jeez. No, do not like. Get me out of here. Oh, shoot. Dodged too early. Hold up. With that one thing, did the enemy actually, like, gain the health that he took from me, too? That's kind of what it looks like. Heal. Yes, please. Ow. Double ow. Okay, so what happens if my drop gauge becomes empty? Oh, geez, I'm poisoned. How did I get poisoned? Oh, come on. At least I don't have to watch an unskippable cutscene. Yeah, true. A lot of this battle seems to be as much about, you know, dodging the incoming attacks as anything else. And this is the part that I hate. Okay, and then in trying to regain some of the health I had lost through the orbs there, yeah, I wound up getting hit by something else. Okay, so that one attack is just absolutely devastating. Really need to be on the lookout for that. There isn't really much of a lead up to it, though. So I wouldn't exactly call it easy to avoid. Oh, come on. This move probably isn't the best idea, but whatever. Ow. Ugh. Trying to move around and scroll through the commands at the same time. It's like I need another hand. There you going. What's your next? Doggone it. Seriously, it gives you like maybe half a second to do something about that. Really? Okay. My dodge timing has got to be just right on point there. This feels tough enough that it could be like the sort of final boss of the game. That was close. Really? No lead up whatsoever. Okay, fine. Nope. Okay, fine. Like, I'd rather get hit by the second thing there than the first one that just takes all my health. Yeah, okay. I think I might have to make a little change in my command deck here. Dark Splicer is not helping me. So instead, what could I put there in place of it? Some sort of a dash attack might be a good idea to help close the gap. So I also wonder if this enemy would at all be vulnerable to time-stopping effects. And then what else could I equip that might be helpful? Oddly enough, Balloon actually seems like a helpful one. If the opponent happens to run into him. Do I have defense to offend? Yeah, do I have defense? Yeah, man, I cannot talk right now, or at least say that word. Okay, do I have defensive options? I mean, I don't really have a counter-attack move specifically, other than just in my regular commands here, that are just, like, kind of passive and constantly there. Now, Time Storm is a little bit movement related, so yeah, I think being able to kind of hang back a little bit and then have an attack that will move me in there closer could be helpful. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm gonna have a lot to edit out when I try to do the just, like, episodic version of this for YouTube. Come this way, toward my balloons. But I highly doubt you'll do that. Okay. So, balloon might not be particularly helpful here. Oof. Okay, dodged that. Did not dodge that so much. Oh my gosh, come on. Now what? Haha. Oh, crud. I shouldn't have said it. Oh, come on. He can hit me with the range stuff while he's got me suspended midair, and... Okay. Okay, no more going haha when I happen to hit him with something a little bit tricky like balloon. Oh, somehow that didn't hit me. Now what? Yeah, that wasn't bad. Maybe I should just go for more ranged stuff. Because it's all the physical stuff that keeps getting me in trouble like that. Okay, you know what? Fine. Ranged mode activate. Okay, so... I mean, Time Storm actually wasn't doing too bad. Why did it seem like Meteor wasn't even coming up as an option? Definitely getting rid of Dark Break. That seems to be getting me into some trouble. I mean, I guess maybe Blizzaga... Time Bomb. No. I doubt... any of the status effect things would work. And those are pretty close range anyway. Let's put Blizzage in there, I don't know. See, Drain Dive and Time Storm being more quick hit kinds of things aren't too bad, really. Okay. Let's try that, I guess, and see how we do. Okay. Skip the scene. I have completely lost track of how many attempts I have had at this. It's more than 5 already, for sure. Quite a delay in him getting hit with that one thing. Ooh, that was nice. Maybe not like tons of damage, but... Nope. What? I even tried to dodge away from it! That one attack is the main thing that causes me issues here. Now, and now I'm poisoned. Hey, I dodged that. Hooray. Definitely didn't dodge that. Ow. Heal. Definitely heal. Dodged a little too early there. I don't know if this is really going to help with much. Just thought maybe I'd give it a shot. Oh, I can block those? Hang on. Well, now that I'm trying to do it, I'm not very successful with it. Heal. Yes, please. Okay, yeah, I can actually kind of block those. I don't know about the ones that fly towards me, but... didn't have the best timing on that. Again, like, what happens if I run out of time in the dive? Because Sora is completely out of commission. I can't do anything with Sora. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Oh, it is actually going back to Sora.
Huh? Am I back?
Just straight into a cutscene kind of thing.
Wait! Your Majesty! Donald! Goofy! Huh? Huh?
Nominee?
Nominee, is that you? Wait! Nominee! I've got a message for you. I meant to tell you once this was all over. Huh?
Shion?
You? Why am I... Well, hey, wait! You gotta wake up.
No, I didn't actually beat the battle before. It's just, I ran out of time. So it just sent me over to playing as Sora like it normally does. It's just, the last time I had Sora involved, it, before any kind of time ran out, it just kicked me over to Riku forcefully. So I thought maybe Sora was going to be completely out of commission until I finished whatever I was doing with Riku. Apparently not. Anyway, okay. Reality Shift, Nightmare's End, cut through the white links in the chains. Cut through all the white links within 3 attacks to deal major... Yeah, this is the same thing as the Reality Shift that Riku was using before. Okay. Well, maybe we'll get something more like the normal, non-boss fight gameplay for a while.
Hey! Yeah! Ha! Hey! Yeah! Oh! Yeah! 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 Oh! Oh! Yeah! 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 Ha! Yeah! Hey! Ha! Oh!
Ow.
Wait! Hey! Yeah! Ha! Yeah!
Okay.
Here!
Right, there's done. Okay, is it just me or does, like, everything Sora says here sound a little bit muffled? So that looks the same pretty much. The way the chains look and move is a bit different. Whoa. What the... Am I supposed to be going up real high here or something? Is that why it flung me upward? This looks like I am going ridiculously high and there wasn't actually anything going on there. Okay. What the? I got stunned somehow in the midst of all that? Okay. Oh, good golly. We got some pretty annoying enemies here. More specifically, annoying enemies who like to charge at me. Or fling magic attacks at me. Okay. So, I do wonder now what's, like, actually happening with Sora, you might say. My guess is that this is actually some kind of dream thing that he's in, and like Xehanort's using it as a trap. Okay, reality shift on this thing. So I guess the initials, you might say, of my channel are very close to those of Poetically Christian Gamer, who's currently in the live chat. Still find it kind of ridiculous that there are people out there who claim to be Christian and are like so strict on things that they will make these very bold and as far as I'm concerned, just downright false claims about things like, video games are all bad. Christians shouldn't play video games. Like, okay, really? On what grounds do you make this claim? And, you realize now that there are Christians out there making video games with specifically Christian, you know, or even just Bible stories and content and ideas and whatnot. Wasn't sure I got that reality shift in there in time. Also, I really don't know where I'm supposed to be going. I mean, I guess the idea is just don't go where I came from. Doggone it, they keep falling down. They being the enemies. Okay, I wanted to potentially see what was down there, but it doesn't look like there's much. Yay for fall damage not being a thing. Yes, charge up my balloons. Pop them. Take damage from them. Anyway, Political Christian says, I had somebody in the comments the other day tell me that it was devil worship because I was playing Star Wars. Talking about the true force in our life being Jesus Christ. Yeah, like... Rescuing spirits. What? Spirit runs out of HP. The countdown will begin. Once the timer hits 0, the spirit will turn back into dream pieces. Don't let that happen. Get close to your spirit and rescue it by tapping A until you fill up the gauge. Where's the... Poe. Where are you, Poe? Oh, there we go. Yeah. There we go. Welcome back to the land of the living. Or the dreaming? Because all this is supposed to take place in, like, dream worlds within this game. So yeah, especially when, like, as a Christian, you're playing video games and stuff, and, like, making attempts to connect what you're playing with, you know, a biblical truth. That's when it especially confuses me how people will try and just outright dismiss video games and say that they're entirely evil. Alright, fine. One enemy. Of course, when I'm not standing there just blocking, ready for it, that's when it leaps out and attacks me. Also, glad I came down here because there is actually treasure. Drac Quack recipe. And that is how I make more of these spirit companion dudes. You know what? Let me swap out Poe for a sec. That is going to take me so flipping long. I would much rather just... try and get up there from this kind of thing. That will then give me a platform upon which I can simply walk and then be propelled upward much quicker than I would be able to do with my own flow motion stuff. Well, might as well heal while nothing's going on. It also sends me upward, but that's probably just a way of getting back. I'll tell you, the bigger you get on YouTube, the more heat comes your way. Oh yeah. It's 700 subs and stacks have been won both by fellow Christians and atheists. Oh, I've been getting some of that here and there, like, even in the early days of my channel. Of course, I also talked more about, even more generally controversial things for a while. My YouTube channel early on was actually more like just kind of a topic of the week kind of thing, you might say. Haha, you fell into my trap. Okay, no more balloons. Okay. Treasure. What is this? Battle portal? I don't know if I want to do any battle portals right now. The normal enemy encounters have been difficult enough for my liking. Of course, I do think if I remember right, I am slightly under-leveled compared with the game's suggestion. For like what the overall battle level is. Well, if they were anywhere near me, that could have done something. Okay. Oh. Different section here. Alrighty. And more story.
Come on, wait up. Who are you? You're... Roxas. How can you be here? Am I dreaming? Come on, say something.
This could have been the other way around.
Huh?
But it really has to be you.
What do you mean?
There are so many hearts that are connected to yours. You're me, so you can feel what I felt.
No. Roxas, you're you. We're not the same. I wanted to tell you that. That you deserve as much as I do to be your own person.
Sora, see? That's why it has to be you.
Meaning it has to be him who goes through this stuff, or what? That's a look.
again. Did they cause all this pain? What do you want me to see?
Sora, don't chase the dream.
That's
They'll lead you nowhere.
super muffled.
Just to an abyss you'll never be able to wake up from.
Sounds a bit like Riku, though. Alright, Poetically Christian, nice seeing you in the stream today. I would also say that I want the people who I see being like hateful and whatever, I want to see them come to a better understanding of Christ's love and be able to communicate that better, because that's really what's supposed to distinguish us, is how much we love and care for others, not how much we follow the rules or hate others or exclude others or protect ourselves or anything like that. Oh, it's confused. Maybe not anymore, though. Wondrous fantasy. That's an ingredient for making more spirits. Another reality shift here. Okay. I should have been looking at the links. Out of the way. Alright, come on. There we go. Wanted to make sure, because I think it did 2 different swipes before, and I didn't want to miss the 3rd one. Pretty soon here, Sora's drop is going to end, and then I'll be back to Riku, who's in the middle of that major boss battle. Oh, okay. Now I've got random things coming at me. But if this reality shift also does damage to the nearby enemies, I'm not going to argue with it. Ow. Almost out of time for this dive. Confetti candy 3, okay. See, now, maybe this will actually put Riku in a better spot when I get back to him. because before I had to go in with like no boosts or anything. But now I can spend a bunch of points on this kind of stuff and give him more attack and... Huh, interesting. Payback Blast. I don't know if I have that already or not. At the same time, though... would I rather have Magic Gain or that Payback Blast? Actually, I could have Magic Gain and Flow Motion Turbo. X after an attack knocks you into the air to retort with a dark projectile. I don't think I have that yet. I'm gonna get that. And then I guess do those two things as well. Of course, I'm not gonna be able to change that one thing for Riku until I'm outside of this battle. That wasn't a great idea.
Take this.
No thanks.
Take this.
Have a meteor. Ow. Okay, I'll heal. Now, you attacked again before you moved. I was honestly not quite ready for that. Oh, shoot. Dodge around, heal. Okay. Ow. Ugh, really? That was just terrible timing on my part. No! Okay, well, now maybe I can change that one thing in my command deck. Oh, maybe I did already have that. Well, phooey. Okay. I could have gotten the better magic and flow motion stuff, dagnabbit. Oh well. Gonna give this maybe a couple more tries before I wrap up this particular bit of recording. Jeez. That one doesn't have very much warning at all. No, thank you. Definitely do not want. I thought for sure Dark Faraga was gonna completely miss the enemy there. Well, dang it. Aha! Oh wait, that's right. I told myself I wasn't gonna do that. I just find the fact of this enemy getting hit by balloons kind of amusing. No, thank you. I almost timed that really poorly. Speaking of time, I use Time Storm now against him. I keep saying him. I don't think there's actually a particular reason to associate any certain gender with this enemy. Meteor. Boom. No, thank you with that move. It's like, okay, the general strategy seems to be avoid an attack, get in there, poke him with something, and then move away. So that I have more time to react to whatever else might come next. Ow. Doggone it. I think my spirit's getting in there and hitting the enemy actually harming me more than helping me, because it's throwing off my own timing. Hey, I win! Huzzah! I mean, shoot, even just the attack and defense boost probably helped quite a bit. You know, from the dive points that I got during Sora's dive. And it's gone.
Sora, don't chase the dreams. They'll lead you nowhere.
Oh, isn't that...
Just to an abyss you'll never be able to wake up from.
Isn't that what I kind of heard muffled
What?
while I was...
What's going on in Sora's world?
while I was playing as Sora?
Why won't he open his eyes? Is he still in the nightmare?
That is right.
Ansem!
Sora can no longer wake up. No matter how many nightmares you consume, you cannot wake someone who has fallen into the chasm of dreams.
What?
Dreams hold our memories. Sleep holds our dreams. And darkness, it holds our sleep. Sora's heart belongs to the darkness now.
Sora would never give in to the darkness!
But you feel it, don't you? This world, the nightmare, the abyss. Why haven't you returned to the reality whence you came?
No. This is,
Dream of a dream. A twofold nightmare. This whole journey, you have been inside Sora's dreams.
Wait.
And
So
now
is this
darkness
all
within
basically an
darkness
Inception situation?
awaits you.
what? No! I can't get loose!
At the start of your test, when you struck out from that tiny island, you saw me there dressed in a robe. Immediately you knew something was wrong. So without even knowing it, you dove into Sora's dream. And you became exactly what that sigil on your back represents. A dream eater to protect Sora from nightmares.
Me? I'm a dream eater?
Correct. But you failed to protect him. After all your efforts to command the darkness and protect those you cherish, it is a shame you locked that power away in the end.
Except, it's not over. I can still save Sora.
So you understand what to do. Set the darkness in you free, and you can rescue your friend.
That's not what he said.
Ansem. Or Xehanort. You used to be a Keyblade wielder. But darkness stole your heart. And the Keyblade with it. Don't you see? That's half the reason I'm even on this journey. After allowing darkness into my heart, am I still fit to wield the Keyblade? Even after locking you away, here you are, haunting me again. So I get it now. There's no point in trying to hold the darkness back.
At last, you see clearly.
You know, when I look at you, there's this memory that flashes back. A secret I said I'd keep when I was little. The main reason I kept dreaming about seeing the outside world was because of him. My journey begins here. And now, I'm going back to the real world. And then to Sora's side.
That is your answer?
Yes. I know the way. Consume the darkness. Return it to light.
You can try.
Okay. So now we're fighting Ansem. Great. Ow. Oof. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna leave the recording off right there, and then I'll pick this back up in the next one. Okay, so I knew I just read a thing about Riku fighting Ansem in this game. I guess I'm at that point. This might be like the actual... Well, I don't know if it'll be the final battle for Riku, but it could be. I almost wonder if that battle just before that I was having a bit of a hard time with, maybe that's... well, no, this is just HD. This isn't like a final mix. So I think just an HD version is pretty much the same, just, you know, with different graphics and stuff. But anyway. Okay. Running Twitch ads. And you know what? I will take a quick break here and return in a bit. Okay. I have returned, and I will resume recording and get back into this. Oh boy. See, especially the, like, kind of floating around aspect of it is what seems like it might be tough. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to just block stuff like I would normally want to because of that. But anyway, here we go. Okay, so we're back with Riku trying to take on Ansem. And I'm ready to give it another go, I guess. The thing is with the floating, I don't know if I'm going to be able to block. No. It immediately sends me dashing around instead of leaving me able to block things. So especially for that attack that he was just doing, block would be super helpful there. But I can't do it because the game doesn't give me an option to block. In this situation. Whoop. I did not mean to do that. Yeah. Lack of blocking makes this immensely more difficult than it would be otherwise. Oh, come on. Especially with that move, the main thing throughout the series that you've been able to do to stop that is to block it. But I can't here. Come on. Like, give me something I can do about it. Okay, here's a question. Can I do any sort of jump type action? Yes, but it doesn't send me up very high. It's high enough to avoid that, I guess. At least for one hit. This is about to get to absolutely absurd levels of me needing to retry this just because there isn't a single freaking thing I could do about that one attack. Never mind if those things home in on me long enough. That missed entirely. I am already flat out hating this. In my opinion, this is a very poor way of designing a fight against Ansem when he has moves like that. Without a block, there's not much of anything I can do against most of his moves.
Is that all you got?
Hey, I got some hits in. Hey, balloon worked. Huzzah. See, that, it's like, okay, you just given the ability to flat out chase me down from wherever. How am I even supposed to get very many hits in on him like this? That was not at the right elevation. Oh, crud. Hey, that actually kind of worked. But not good enough. This is absurd. Like, there's difficult and then there's unfair. This is bordering on unfair. Just because I don't have any good way to, like, reliably avoid that attack in its entirety.
Take this!
You can't protect
Yeah! Ha!
That didn't hit.
Fire!
Alright, what you doing now? More of this stuff, okay. How much of that are you gonna do? Oh my gosh, come on. Hey, that hit good. Whoa. Okay. Was not exactly ready for him to do it again. And, if I just had that... Whatever the one freaking ability is that lets you stay alive, you know, with 1 HP left, that would help immensely. Oh my gosh! Let me freaking do something about that! Like, seriously. And that kind of crap, that dashing move he does is the main reason why I say this is bordering on unfair. Because how do I reliably do anything to avoid that? Yeah, that worked that time, but it's the exact same thing I've tried other times. It hasn't worked in those instances, so... Oh, and dude just has himself on another plane of existence? Okay, yeah, sure. Not really. But on another plane, though, for sure. Hooray, I did some damage. Hey, balloon stopped him. Like, come on! And while I'm basically stun-locked from the one attack, he's hitting me with the other. There's so much of this that is just absurd. Simply because of the fact that I can't block. If I could block, this would be a cakewalk. Ha! Instead, I'm forced, practically, to get hit by that move sometimes.
You can't protect anything.
But of course, if I stay really far away, he's just gonna fling that stuff at me and not let me do much of anything that way.
Drown in darkness.
See, if I do all dodges, that's what happens. Yeah, I stay away for a while, but then eventually he catches up with me. That didn't do a single freaking thing to him? Are you serious? Healing. Definitely want some healing. Ooh, reality shift. Oh yeah. Hopefully this will give me an opening to heal. Oh hey, I have a platform now. Maybe I can block and stuff. Of course, now I'm floating around and I pretty much removed my own ability to block. I'm like, go ahead, come at me, bro. This part feels so much easier so far. See? I could block that. It makes it so much easier to respond to when I can block.
Ground in darkness. Is that all you got? Is that all you got?
This might not be good. Don't think I can block that kind of thing. But so far I'm having an easy enough time dodging this. Oh great, now we're back to the floating part. Oh jeez, okay, there's a boundary there. And I didn't even realize it. I would like to heal, please, and thank you. Ah! Meteor, because why not? And you know what? Dark Faraga, too. Okay, that didn't stop him like I hoped it would. Heal. Definitely heal. We're getting close. Okay. Of course, now I might have actually figured out a way to, well, semi-reliably avoid that attack. Haha! I win! Okay. Took me a little while to get the hang of it, but I got there. Just gotta be really careful with your timing on things.
Ansem! You're part of my heart now. Part of the light.
Ever the fool boy, and forever a pawn of the darkness.
Oh, jeez. Phase 2? Yeah, that's what it looks like. Great. Well, this is new. Oh, jeez. Okay, seems like I can't block those, but I can jump over them.
Accept the darkness. Feel the darkness.
Whoa, what is this? I don't know if I like this. Oof. Yeah, great, and we got lasers and stuff involved too.
Accept the darkness. Accept the darkness.
Ow. Okay, that was just bad timing. Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, please tell me if I retry that it's just going to do it from that phase. Okay, good. Whew. That would have been really annoying if I had to redo the entire thing with both phases all over again. Oh, I should have jumped there.
Accept the darkness.
No. Now, jeez. Okay. Now I got a whole new set of attacks and stuff that I gotta get used to. What the? Okay. So, like, can I not block those, or is it because they freaking went around behind me? See, in there, they didn't hit me at all. Okay, so I can block that. Jeez-a-loo. Okay, can't seem to block that, which is great. Ow. Oh jeez, what is this? Okay. I didn't want to move around too much once I got to him because I thought something like what happened there might happen. Freaking really? That was not at all what I expected. Dagnabbit. Ugh. Okay, and I can't do too much direct attacking, because then they'll just hit me like that. Come on. Oh, my dodge timing was just a little off there. Okay. Really? So, at this point, I'm like, do I just not bother getting very close to him once the orb things are up?
No way.
Accept the darkness. Accept the darkness.
Okay, now comes the fun part. That did nothing. No, what the? Oh, freaking heck. Let me heal, thank you. Bad time to do that.
Accept the darkness.
What?
Feel the darkness.
What? Since when does it do that much damage? Also, I tried to dodge right there, but I think it was to where the exact same moment. Ugh. Okay, that was a little bit of experimenting, me trying to see if I could do a little... if I could reliably counter that just downward punching attack thing. Which, honestly, maybe...
Accept the darkness.
Really? The heck?
Accept the darkness.
Okay. No! Dang it. Heal. Yes, please. Did he actually just heal a bunch from doing that to me? That's kind of what it looks like.
Feel the darkness.
Ugh, really? Ooh, hey, I dodged that entirely this time. Alright. Ow. Healing.
Accept the darkness.
So yeah, maybe hanging back a little bit during this portion is actually a good idea.
Accept the darkness.
Okay, great. Oh, come on. No, 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 no. Ah! Can't really do much of anything about it once it gets to that point. Oh, come on! I was, like, literally pressing the dodge button at the exact same moment that I got hit by that. Alright, so apparently this is just Riku fights Ansem, the video, at this point. Freaking really? Some of these attacks, man, it's like... the frequency with which they hit me or don't hit me just seems... I don't know. It's like... for some reason, I just can't predict this stuff, dagnabbit. Hey. I evaded that completely. No, thank you. Do not want. Same goes for the bubbles there. Those give me status effects that I really do not want. Not what I thought that was going to be. It's really... and I can't do a thing once I've been trapped by that. Okay. Oh, come on! Well, that's not good. Ugh, really? Bruh. Okay, healing. And right back to this absolute nonsense. I pressed the dodge button! Freaking really? I hate how some of these attacks just like wrap around my back and then come at me from an angle I can't do anything about. No thanks. Oh, but the... and look, that doesn't even freaking hit me. Yeah, I really hate this whole getting pushed back thing. Because you really have to pay attention to, like, the tiniest little clues. Really? Okay. That never happened like that before. And now I get pushed back again. Okay, well, I only got hit a little bit by that this time. Really? That was too early. Let me just get Kiraga at the ready. Just cause. No thanks on any of this stuff. Like, let me go find Kiraga and heal. That's not exactly what I wanted to do there, but whatever. Alright. Person that just popped into the YouTube chat, I'm gonna call you Blue for short. Hello. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. And agreed. Christ is Lord. Thought I was about to get hit really hard there. Oh, jeez, what is this? I don't like this. What is all this mess? What the... And now there's a completely new curveball getting thrown at me. Great! Great. Really didn't help that, you know, I had to try and revive my one spirit there. Really? back. Let me just have Kiraga at the ready. Okay. I didn't get hit too hard by that, but had I been hit real hard by it, I would have been dead right then. 'Cause it would have done that much damage to me. Oh, phooey. Well, I'm pretty much dead. Not exactly, but close to it. Well, okay. I have healed. So maybe I'm still in this. I'm a little surprised that hit to like any extent. Oh jeez. Poison lasers, that's fun. And regular lasers that deal tons of damage. It's just that I'm taking too much damage from too many different things. Really? I think I'll just heal now. So that anything I get hit by probably won't insta-kill me. That's not what I meant to do. Jeez. Like, the lasers are the main problem there. Because they could kill you real quick. Ugh. See, the problem half the time is paying close enough attention to what he's doing while avoiding whatever he's throwing at you, because it's like while he's in the middle of throwing one attack at you, he's preparing the next one. So that's going to be the poison laser things. Poison, I don't know, shot. I don't know what you want to call that. poison stuff. Okay, healing. That was just bad timing on my part.
Accept the darkness.
Yeah, great, I'm blind. What? Does being blind mean I can't block stuff? If so, that is dumb. Ah, come on! I was still trying to kind of regroup or whatever from the being blinded thing.
Accept the darkness. Accept the darkness.
Freaking, it's just like the most subtle little hint that he's gonna do that. Ah! And juggling the freaking moves and avoiding them when multiple are coming at you at the same time. It's just, ugh. What? Alright, well. As soon as Kiraga's charged. I mean, I'm glad I used it before I got hit by the lasers, but also it maybe kind of kept me from dodging the lasers. What the heck? At least at that point, they sent me backwards away from Ansem. And not into some, you know, death ball trap. I've spent literally the past 50 plus minutes just fighting Ansem. I assume you mean Dark Souls 1. Magic spam from the long hallway. Yeah. Raga. That was probably bad timing for using Meteor. Dag nabbit. Ooh, okay. At least that only got me at the time when it pushes me away from Ansem and not, you know. Some other time when it would have brought me towards him and into immediate danger. Oh, that was terrible timing on the change out of that command style. Didn't mean to dodge that far away, jeez. Balloon. These meteors still hit. Hey, there we go. Dodge that. Huzzah. Alright, poison stuff. More poison stuff. More poison stuff. Great. Now I'm also confused, and at least I was for a second there. And now comes the part I'm not sure I understand how to deal with. What? I got hit by like one of those things, and that... If I can't even get to that part to do it enough to understand it, like, come on! No, I will not accept the darkness. Okay, as long as I see the cue for that, I've actually gotten pretty decent at avoiding that one. Oh, but bruh! When you got me avoiding two things at the same time. It makes it 1,000 times tougher to avoid either, really. And now he's pushing me back again. Ugh! Annoying freaking pest of a boss. And again, with the avoiding two things at once. Now, I'm not gonna say this is one of them, but there are bosses in this franchise that apparently people who have played, you know, Souls-like games say are harder than most Souls-like bosses. And the freaking bring it down to stupidly low health thing strikes again. And all because I dared get close while he wasn't doing anything. Sure, if I stand still and do absolutely nothing, I can not get hit by that attack, but that also means I'm not able to go anywhere and do anything to Ansem here. Also, why is Drain Dive not healing me? That's half the point of Drain Dive, is that the damage you deal then heals you. I swear I was just a millisecond off of the timing for that. And then I got myself angry and distracted. See, what's really crazy is if I go to edit this down, it's gonna be so freaking short by comparison.
Accept the darkness.
I did not mean to use Curaga there. I thought I had moved it down to Blizzaga. Freaking, stupid, annoying stuff. There's already, like, no room for error in this. What? How was I not able to block that one attack? Apparently, if he does that while I'm in midair, I can't do a single freaking thing.
Accept the darkness.
At least once I get hit. If I'm on the ground and get hit, then I can do something. But, oh well. Yeah. I'm almost inclined to, well, definitely in amongst top 10 hardest series bosses that aren't in, like, some optional thing. This battle's definitely up there. Why? Why does it give you an attack where the typical response is to charge in and hit him, and then immediately hit you with something that you can't avoid or get away from the moment you get hit by it. See, okay, in main numbered entries in this series, there would be an ability just inherently through leveling up that your character would get that would allow you to maintain 1 health upon any move that would bring you to, you know, the point of death. But this game doesn't seem to have that. Of course, I thought the same about Birth by Sleep, and it turned out it was just behind the whole command melding feature. This one, I bet you it's locked behind something with the spirits. But, like... First off, how am I to know that that's where to look for something like that? And second, like, is it dependent upon having that spirit in my party or other things like that? Because in other games, it's just a permanent passive ability that you get. Now,
Accept the darkness.
did not expect that. I'm gonna heal. See, like that, right there. The only way to get damage on him after he does that attack is to charge on in. Great. And I've got a dying spirit. There. Okay. Glad it gave me a moment's reprieve. Right there. To get my spirit all healed up.
Accept the darkness.
Watch, she's probably about to push me away or something.
Feel the darkness.
Alright, now it's time for this nonsense. What the... First of all, since when does that repeatedly hit the same spot over and over? And second, why couldn't I move anywhere? Golly! What the heck is happening here? It's like I'm hitting him just as he's starting that one attack, so I'm like interrupting him, but he's also hitting me and interrupting me. Oh, food. Alright, now what? Oh, come on. What? That? Come on! Okay. Whew. At least I didn't get stuck in a death bubble. That was about to be really dumb, though, because it was only because of the, like, transformation thing that I was even stuck by that thing that pulled me in, you know? I still don't have a freaking clue how I'm supposed to avoid that. What is... It seemed like it was coming from the right and then the left, and the right and left, back and forth, back and forth. I would think if I was able to dodge each way that I would avoid it. But no, apparently they home in on you a little bit too. This is absurd. Out of story battle bosses in this series, this might be the hardest. In fact, I'm just about ready to crown it as such. Really, Turbo? Turbo's what I named my one spirit. The one that's kind of like a snail. Oh my gosh. The status effects are just rough. Oh, come on. You want me to avoid the poison stuff and the lasers at the same time? Come on, man. And now he's pushing me away. Might as well heal. I just hit way quicker than I was ready for it. Really?
Feel the darkness.
Oh, great. Now he's hitting me with this stuff. That's not what I meant to do. Yeah, they actually kind of home in on me a little bit. I survived somehow. Good grief. No, come on. Really? Even though I just used Kuraga, my one spirit was still like, no, I'm hurt. This would be an absolutely terrible time to have my drop gauge run out, although I'm not sure it's even moving right now. Ow. Okay, healing time. Something as big and powerful as Meteor's supposed to be. That really didn't do much. No, okay. I'm following up on my own thing that I said. I definitely see the drop gauge moving a bit. It's the bubbles. And more bubbles. And lasers. Ouch. Oof, okay. Okay. Didn't think I timed it quite that well, but sure, I'll take it. I'm stuck on it. Where the heck is... Okay. Meanwhile, I've got this other stuff going on. I'm like, yes, let me heal, please. Okay, so just dodging around all over the place might be a better approach than trying to stay in one spot. Oh, come on. Doggone it. I'm getting so close. Okay. Poison stuff. Bubbles. Lasers, ouch. Good thing I healed before that. I'm gonna heal again, just to try and stay on top of my health here. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm so close. At least this seems to be just the regular pushing me away kind of thing and not the, like, super special one that I still don't know if I fully grasp how to handle that. Okay, poison stuff. Bubbles. Okay. Orby things are gone. Blizzaga, be gone! Finally! Oh, man. If that doesn't end up being the final boss, or the final form of Ansem here, then, I'm gonna... I don't know what I'll do. See, knowing stuff from later in the series and who that is, that
Strength
says a lot.
what matters.
Although it's definitely implied right there based on what Riku just said. Because that was part of the conversation that he had with Terra back in Birth by Sleep.
Oh, this place. Did I finally make it out of the dream? Sora and I have been split up since the start of our journey.
So,
Because Ansem... No. Because Xehanort planned it. And that means... we're a long way off course from the Mark of Mastery exam Yen Sid gave us. Alright. Sora's gotta be here. Somewhere.
and now it actually gives me, like, the thing like I'm just entering the world that ever was. Oh, man. That might be even more ridiculous than Kingdom Hearts 2, having you play crap tons of stuff, like, well, basically, like, I'd say about 2 hours worth of game before even giving you the opening thing. Now, what is this? Return to the world map. Not now, no. I will be pressing on, but in a different recording. That was... oh, man. I don't think I could handle any more right now. Especially because it's about time for me to wrap up the stream anyway. Ugh. Although, real quick, I don't even have much money to buy things. What could I sell? Why would I even want to sell? I guess there's some of this stuff that I could see myself wanting to sell just because A, it's extra, or B, more importantly, it's extra of something that I definitely will ever only need one of. For example, Payback Blast. It's Riku only, and I don't need 2 of those equipped. Aerial recovery I could, in theory, assign to both, although I think it might even just only use one in either case. Okay, spirits. Let me look at some of the ability links here if I've got anything to... I can't do anything with those. Now there were some... Trying to remember if any of the ones I had in the party before would have had some of that passive stuff that I was really hoping I had right then and clearly didn't. And if maybe I have to have them in the confusion block, that would have been a little bit helpful. Dark screen probably would have helped too. Attack and magic haste might also have. So maybe that's the risk you run with swapping out spirits partway through. Is that whatever associated... Oh, hold up, combo plus. Does Riku just outright have combo plus even if I change the party here back to this? Let me see. Abilities. So I'm noticing it's got a spot for confusion block, but it's not filled. I would gather that means that my one spirit has it, but it's not active for Riku because of that spirit not being in the party. But then I guess there are some that you could permanently have. Like these ones that are just filled in with the yellow and whatnot. Maybe. I don't know. Holy cow. Also, I can't imagine anything much is going to happen if I go back to the world map. I'm just a little curious. You know, that probably just gives me the ability to go back between them and, you know, go kind of completionist on the thing. Okay, whatever. I'm done looking into all that stuff. Okay. So I think that's gonna about... I think that's gonna about wrap it up for today's stream. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed, even through the frustration that I experienced and displayed. I don't know how close I am to the end of this, but I gotta be getting close. So, tune in next week, or to my edited YouTube videos as those release, for any of that kind of stuff. If you want to see what happens from here. But yeah, I'll be back next week. Same time for this kind of stuff. Also Friday afternoon for just kind of a hangout, chill sort of thing while I do some side questing, probably in other games. But yeah, whatever ends up happening. Oh, and right before I go, I've got a Hydrate Redemption from TV Antenna. Hello, hope you're doing well, and I appreciate the Hydrate Redemption. There you go. So yeah, whatever ends up happening, till next time, stay cool, everybody.